As the host of Neutralize the Mama Trauma podcast, I am delighted to be able to bring you this podcast. My name is Wendy Lopez, and I would like to introduce myself to you. I specialize in helping people overcome their emotional blocks through different techniques, through emotional empowerment coaching and compassionate healing life facilitation. As a mom who has experienced narcissistic trauma, I help moms eradicate self-doubt in order to regain self-confidence to elevate their status both at home and at work. In our podcast, we discuss people's struggles, triumphs, and failures. We dive deeper into self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance, and mindful, holistic tips. In every episode, I hope that you can take a golden nugget of advice and apply it to the journey of motherhood in order to raise your level of awareness. Welcome to Neutralize the Mama Trauma podcast, where you find healing and creative mental thought advice from experts on past pain, narcissistic experiences, and trauma. Today, I have a special guest. Her name is Shelley Meche'tte, a certified life purpose and confidence coach and 3 times author. She is an international empowerment speaker who speaks on confidence, life balance, and reclaiming lost identity after motherhood. Shelley is the founder of the nonprofit The PowHERful Woman and former host of the online talk show, The Shelley and Bree Show, airing on Roku. Shelley has been featured in numerous media outlets, including Bakersfield News, Shondaland, Yahoo, Peace of Mind with Taraji Henson, and Voyage, LA, iHeartRadio, and more. So Shelley, I am so honored and pleasured here to have you speak to
Thank
us.
you.
Yes,
Thank
and
you so much. Glad to be here.
yes, we talked about before jumping on the podcast of your, a snippet of your journey,
hmm
and I really enjoyed where you mentioned, and I want when I have you talk about yourself a little deeper. It's really important for us, for the moms, to hear the identity crisis part
hmm
from work and then becoming a stay-at-home mom. So I'm
Yes.
gonna let you lead now with the platform, telling us who you are and what struggle you encountered in your life that started shifting you.
hmm It's very interesting, Wendy, because I grew up with a single mom who, poured so much into me and poured so
Hmm.
much confidence and things in me. And I was always very independent. I always wanted to have, this career and do this. I did want to be a mother one day, and this is starting from young, where I had this
Hmm.
mentality of, oh yeah, one day I want to be a mom, but I only want one child because I want to chase my career. So I was
Mm.
always very specific about that I only want one child. I want to be able to have a career. I'm very career oriented. That is the mindset. And then life shifted.
Hmm. Hmm.
Before I was able to get the career the way I wanted to, I always knew that I wanted to be in entertainment. In fact, I wanted to be an actor.
Ah,
So I was set on a path of being an A-list actor. Okay, that didn't
wow.
happen either. That one didn't happen either. Even though I
Wow.
do spend time still in entertainment and acting and theater and things like that, but the path that I had, it didn't happen the way that I thought that it was going to happen, and I ended up becoming a mom before the plans of really
Wow.
becoming a mom.
Okay.
So I wanted to
Wow.
have the career set, the this set, and everything else, and then look at motherhood. It didn't go that way. And
Hmm.
so I was working and chasing the career and enjoying it, and I was working in entertainment while being a mom.
Hmm.
The things that
Hmm.
I wanted to do, I wasn't able to do at that time because I really wanted to be an active mother. And so those things that I desired, I pushed back,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I pushed back. And so it's like, okay, when she gets a little bit older, because right now I need to be able to survive. I need to be able to be a mom. I need to be able to create an atmosphere. So as she becomes older, then I'll go back to what it is that I really wanted to do, and I'll
Hmm.
stay in the entertainment realm, but
Hmm.
I'll get back in there the way I really want to when she's a little bit older. Well, when she became a little bit older, I ended up getting married and having another child.
Wow. Totally deviated from the plan.
Totally, exactly. Totally not the plan. But this time I said, you know what? I don't want to have to go through all of the struggles that I went through when my oldest was young. So I'm going to take a step back from working, and I'm going to leave work and become a stay-at-home mom because I really wanted to be able to nurture my children.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where it really went crazy.
Okay.
I walked away from a job that I loved with every intention on coming back. And what I didn't realize at that time is I was walking away from my identity, who I was,
Yes.
and who all that was wrapped up in. I didn't know that my identity was wrapped up in my job. I didn't know that it was wrapped up in my success. I am a go-getter and I love accomplishing goals, but that shouldn't be what makes me who I am. That's
Right.
just a part of it. But that entertainment world and working in entertainment and seeing some of the things that I wanted and being so close to the dream, all of that was over in a matter of a minute when I decided I want to be able to be with my children so that I'm not going through some of the things I went through with my oldest and daycare and school and all of that. So I became a stay-at-home mom. And becoming a
Mm.
stay-at-home mom was the greatest, most challenging, eye-opening, identity-crushing job ever.
Yeah, I've been there with you. Oh my goodness. This is phenomenal. I love that we're bringing this to the light.
Yes, because a lot of times we think, the stay-at-home mom, and it's really interesting because there was judgment, being a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom, and it's like,
Right?
well, you get to be with your kids, so what is the problem and what is the this? Or, it's like, well, everyone doesn't do that, or, well, all women aren't kept by their husbands and things. And I'm just like, what? Do you realize how hard this is?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I went from losing my identity in success to losing my identity in motherhood. And then I had no idea of who I was at all, not at
Mm-hmm.
all. And I
Hmm.
found myself becoming angry, bitter, unhappy, and not unhappy because I was glad that I was able to be with my children. I was unhappy because I didn't know me anymore.
Hmm.
I didn't know if I really liked Cheerios or if I ate them because they left them.
Hmm.
Just the smallest things. I didn't know. I didn't know what genuinely made me happy because everything was surrounded around the kids
Hmm.
and around my husband. So I had
Hmm.
a full breakdown in my mirror one day,
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
complete breakdown, the real boohoo, where you look at yourself afterwards and be like, why do we look at ourselves afterwards? But that's a whole nother. And I had to ask myself, I stood there and I said, what do you like about you? Tell me something you like about you.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
cried harder, you guys, because I
Hmm.
couldn't find anything that I liked about
Hmm.
me. So I started crying even more. And I can't tell you how long I stood in that mirror, but I said I wasn't going to leave that mirror until I found something that I liked or loved about myself.
Oh.
And I finally came to the conclusion that I loved my smile. And so I started cheesing at everybody because that was the one thing that was mine. It didn't belong to
Mm.
anybody else. It wasn't, oh, I like my teeth because I'm a mom. It wasn't connected to
Oh.
anything. And
Right.
so with that, I began to allow God to start breaking the pieces so that I can find out, who am I? If I
Mm.
never have another title again, who is this woman? And I found out that there was some residue from an abusive relationship. There was some residue from an absentee father. There was even some residue of being raised by this amazing, wonderful, independent woman. Because even with that, I felt like, well, you're
Mhm.
not supposed to be able to crack or to fall. You're strong. You're independent. Your
Mhm.
mother did it. She was a single mom. What right do you have not to take whatever blows life gives you and move forward? All of these things were so confusing, but I was so glad that I was able to break at that moment because it was the release of perfection and motherhood. And it was just the release of all that to just
Amen.
be looking at the woman and to find out, who is this woman? What does she love? And I was able to find out a lot about myself. And that's when the confidence came, and purpose, things that were mine and didn't belong to anybody else. When I was able to discover Shelley, discover her purpose, discover what she loved authentically, and discover her confidence, then that's when I was able to look in the mirror and truly see Shelley Meche'tte.
Yes, I love that. And I totally resonate with you. That is just super amazing. I also too had the whole identity crisis, leaving the
Mhm.
corporate employee mindset into being a stay-at-home mom. And I totally didn't know who I was. And
Right.
it wasn't pretty. And yeah, people can think we're gifted to be able to stay at home, but they don't realize the other challenges that come
Mm-hmm.
being as a
Mm-hmm.
mother, right? Especially you said you were very, goal oriented. You were, ambitious. You had a plan,
Yes.
and I had a plan too. But the plan was never to be a stay-at-home mom.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Right? So I
And
think
I
that's
don't say
that's
that
kind
to
of like,
sound ungrateful, because I'm glad that that experience happened, but that was
yeah,
never a part of the plan. I
right.
was supposed to have my child since I had the one. She was supposed to be on my hip and we were supposed to be moving.
Yeah. And I
She
believe that this whole, child, having your child and leaving work and then being a stay-at-home mom for you and me, and I'm sure other moms, it was the path of self-discovery,
Yes, it really
right?
was. It
And
was.
like
But
you
in the
said,
most
who was the
painful
real
way.
Shelley?
It
Yeah, I
was.
know. I know. And I'm glad that we can laugh now. So we're not laughing at anything other than we're laughing at ourselves, because when you can laugh, is you've healed those aspects,
Yes, yes.
right?
And yeah, it's definitely not laughing at the situation, but it's being able to be honest to say self-discovery is great and wonderful, but it took some pain to get to that. It took
Yes,
some pain to get to the purpose. It took some pain to
yes,
understand I'm not a bad mother because I want to get away from my kids. Yes, I do want to get away
yes,
from you.
yes,
I want to go outside without my
right.
toddler on my ankle.
Yeah,
And there's
exactly.
nothing wrong with that. But it's that mindset that made me feel trapped,
Right,
or people
right.
saying, well, you should feel blessed because you have children. So many women don't have children. And my heart goes out to anyone
Hmm.
struggling. But I just felt like, why don't I get to be frustrated? Or why don't I get to have
Mm,
feelings because I have children? Why can't we both respect one another's side and understand that there is a hardship on both
mm.
sides?
Yes. And the hardship is really mentally,
Mm-hmm.
which then will bog down on the physical level where we're drained, depleted, exhausted.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and you said something very important where, having like your child at your ankle, it's like, yes, the moms need space for their
Mm-hmm.
own self-care so they
Yes.
can not be depleted,
Mm-hmm.
unhappy, so they can be happy, fulfilled in motherhood,
Yes.
right? So then they can give off those good vibes to their children.
Exactly. We raise better children when we're better for us.
Yes.
And that's what we've been missing for so many years. It's like it's a badge of honor to be tired and exhausted and crying and can't get your hair done. I can't
Right?
take a
That's the good
shower.
mother.
That's a
Right.
good mother. When we look raggedy and we don't have good lipstick, that's a good mom. When your underwear has holes in it because the kids have everything, you're an amazing mom. But don't you dare go get a $10 tube of lipstick.
Right. It's so true. It's so true. Oh, I'm so glad that we're talking about this because it really needs to be known more. It really needs to be, felt more of,
Mm-hmm.
the love that we need to have
Yes.
for ourselves, to take care of ourselves. Because we really do,
Yes.
when our mindset is just so battered down, because if we
Mm-hmm.
have abuse, because I've experienced narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, religious abuse, okay, all that we've learned to abuse our own self.
Yes.
And
Yes,
so
we've
here we
learned to
are.
take on these things in stride and go, okay, I did that, but yes, I'm being hurt, but, or no, I never have time for me, but, so we've learned to take these things on, like I said, as a badge of honor when we need to be able to release these things, understand these things, get assistance for these things, ask for help for these things. We're better moms when we don't need help. Says who? No, I'm an emotionally wrecked mom when I don't have that help. And it doesn't matter what stage of motherhood you're in, we all still need a supportive team with us, whether your stage of motherhood is infancy. Oh, you need a supportive team. I mean, have you ever dealt with a meltdown from a toddler who didn't get the color cup they wanted? You need a circle. Have you ever lived with a teenager? You definitely need a circle. And it's a whole nother thing, you know, that raising teenagers, you might, I'm just
We
saying,
need a circle for everything.
Yeah, you might need a few more girls' nights when you're raising teens.
You see, and that's true. We don't, I don't remember ever taking a girls' night when I had my teenager.
No, I do not recall having a regular girls' night.
Right.
I mean, if I did, then it was probably I'm at my wit's end, and that shouldn't be where we are.
That shouldn't be the cause.
That shouldn't be the cause. I'm at my wit's end, so I need to be with some women or some ladies or some other moms. What it should be is, life has changed for me. Yes, I am a mother, but I used to love going and, getting a drink with friends every so often. So now I will still enjoy that, but I will only get to enjoy it every other month or once a month because my life season has changed. Not that season can't include it. And that's the difference. When we become mothers, we have been conditioned to believe your life before motherhood is over. It is dead. Yes. You never again will be called by your name. I go to the schools and they just call me, my kid's mom,
Yeah. Yeah.
And true. And it's not that that's a wrong thing or a bad thing. The problem is it's just a small look at how our own identity gets wrapped up into our children. And so we begin to flow with that and go with that. And that becomes our norm. The titles versus the woman. Right. Motherhood is wonderful and amazing. Motherhood is tiring and exhausting. Motherhood is, I'll choke you in the morning and hug you right after. Motherhood is all of these things. And it's okay to embrace all of those things. With us and with a circle of women. Motherhood is you being a woman who became a mom. So let's not get rid of those things that make us who we are as women. And that's what we've been conditioned to believe, that motherhood is the goal. And once you become a mom, kick that lady who came before, put her out.
Right. Yes, it's so true. So Shelley, can you tell us how you, because what I find so beautiful that you were working, then you became stay-at-home mom, same as I, and then I opened up my business. How did you come to do that for yourself as well? So I'm intrigued to know.
Interesting. When my daughter was young, like I said, I worked when my oldest daughter was young, but I still needed that circle, and I couldn't find that circle. And so I created a group for single parents so that we could come together and we can be of service to one another, and we could do play dates together, and we can, have people that we trust. If we want to have a girls' night, that we'll be able to do that. And it didn't go off the way I wanted to. People were excited about it before, but when I said, this is a group of support where we're here for one another, we get to know one another, our kids get to know one another, and we help one another, then people began to fall off.
Why do you think moms would do that?
It was actually for moms and dads. It's just that only moms ended up coming because it was for single parents. But I'm not really 100% sure. Maybe you began to think of it more, I don't know, as a chore than enjoyable. Because for me,
Oh.
having a support group, that means I wanted to meet with you. And so sometimes it can become a chore. Maybe it didn't fit in your schedule. But again, I go back to, we don't look at things as important for us, because a support group is something that should have been a part of your schedule, not
That's
something
true.
that has to fit into your schedule.
Oh, I like that.
You
Yes,
know,
so very
and once
true.
again, the way we're conditioned, well, something else comes up, so I put me on the back burner. Well, something else is more
Hmm.
important than my support. That's just a group. And so we kind of, as usual, we put everything that's good for us, that's healthy for us, that helps us, we stick it in the closet so that we
Mm.
can do something else, so we can volunteer for something else, which is part
Yes.
of the problem of things that are killing us. But what I found is I enjoyed having that type of support. What I
Hmm.
didn't know is that I enjoyed women at the time. And so
Hmm.
after I had my full complete breakdown, during that time I still wanted to always connect with women, love women, help women understand who they are.
Hmm.
But after that complete breakdown, I believe that God opened up my insight more, and my desire really became women, and really helping women understand they
Mm.
don't have to leave who they are to
Hmm.
be the woman that they desire to be. And so I began really looking for those women who had passion and purpose and things like that, but they just didn't understand how to retrieve it, and they didn't understand who they were, and
Hmm.
they didn't really understand their identity. And
Hmm.
then as I really began to connect with women and work with women, and develop my speaking career, then that's when
Hmm.
the doors opened to the coaching side. Well, how do these women get to that? Because women would ask me, well,
Right.
how did you get to this point? And I didn't realize I was already coaching without
Hmm.
knowing that I was coaching. And so I began to do that even more. And I found such peace and fulfillment in
Mm.
me seeing that sparkle in women's eyes. And so I
Yes.
began to do that even more. And that's how I ended up finding that career. And then I found
Mm.
out, because we're always evolving. So I found out about a
Absolutely.
year or two ago that I wanted to bring it in more. And I specifically wanted to connect with moms and to help moms balance motherhood and life dreams, motherhood and life goals,
Mm. Yes.
motherhood and identity,
Hmm.
and to get that back after mom. We don't have to live an either or life. You never have to be a mom or. And that's what
Hmm.
we've been conditioned to believe. And
Yep.
that's the lie that I'm here to break, to break and to
Hmm.
give truth to.
Absolutely.
You never have to be a mom or. There's no either or. There's I'm
Mm-mm.
a mother and you get to
Hmm.
fill in the blank.
Yes. I love it.
You get to fill in that blank.
Yes, exactly.
And I love, every time I have an opportunity to work with moms, to see that light in their eye, to help them rediscover their identity, their purpose, their passion, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like fire, right? It
It
just
is.
fuels the fire to see that we
Yes.
can do that as well. Because I focus on moms too.
Yes. And
Um,
to balance that out.
yeah,
We can balance being a mom and
and exactly. I love that because I always say you're more than just a mother. But I
absolutely.
love the mother and because you can,
Yes.
more and it's like there's a whole other world out there for you, mom.
So much
Yeah.
beyond our titles. We are so much more beyond the titles that we have. The titles are a part of our identity. It never is the identity.
Yes. So, Shelley, can you give us a tip on how maybe moms, if they're having some type of identity crisis, sometimes we don't even know that's what's going
Mm-hmm.
on, but
Mm-hmm.
just having a crisis mode or a crisis state, what is something that you can offer advice or tool or that they can bring themselves back in their space, in their head,
Mm-hmm.
where they can have that moment of reprieve?
Absolutely. One of the things that I would always advise for my clients to do is to incorporate moments into your day. And if you
Okay.
can't incorporate moments throughout the day, do it at the end of the day. Take time, put the kids to bed,
Mm,
get away from your partner, your spouse, if you have one, and make you the priority to say from 10 o'clock to 10:20 at night, I'm going to sit in quiet. I'm going to sit in solitude. I'm going to write in my journal. I'm going to say what I was grateful for today. I'm going to take a 10-minute shower with a do not disturb sign on the door.
mm,
It's an opportunity to remember you, the woman, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. And then I would encourage you to develop your passion
mm,
because that belongs to you. Your
mm.
passion, your purpose, that's the identity that's in you, which has nothing to
Oh.
do with anyone else. It's who you have been created to be. And when we begin to hone that and understand what our passions are, what our gifts are, what our purpose is, beyond any title that belongs to anyone else, that's when we begin to see the woman that we are.
I love it. I just had lunch with one of my girlfriends, and I remember just telling her this week that if I don't have passion in what I'm doing, there is no success.
Right.
But if I'm
Exactly.
passionate in what I'm doing, like, I just mentioned to you before jumping on how I have had I'm doing a new thing, and my new
Mm-hmm.
thing is I have a passion for Christ. And it's my passion.
Yes.
It's my identity,
Yes.
right? So we can circle and circle and circle. And this is why I feel this is so important for moms to get to know, coaches like you, coaches like me, coaches around the world, because I'm doing this internationally, who
Mm-hmm.
you can gravitate to so you can find what that
Yes.
passion is.
Find what that passion is. And the thing, a lot of people, you put so much into, well, what is my passion? What's my passion? And I just want to
Hmm.
let moms know, bring it down.
Bring it down.
You don't have to run and chase after it. It starts with one thing. And that one thing is, what do I like? And see, sometimes as
Mm,
moms, we don't know. Do I really like Cheerios or do I eat it because the kids leave it? It's one of those things.
mhm,
Ask
mhm.
yourself, do I like Cheerios? Start getting to know yourself. So when we put this big, vast, responsibility on ourselves to find our passion, know our passion, it doesn't become a beautiful journey. It becomes a harness. And that's not what we want. We don't want a yoke on us.
Oh.
What we want is a beautiful journey. And so that beautiful journey is finding out about you. What are three things that you like? Simple. Don't make it hard. Oh, I like to skydive from the mountain. No. What do you like? I like watching I Love Lucy. Great. Write it down. I like
Simple.
polishing my nails. Great. Write it down. These are things where you're getting to know yourself. What's something that you've never done that you'd love to do one day? Oh, I'd love to just travel and just go to to another state. Great. What state would you love to go to one day? Oh, I'd love to go, whoever. I'd love to go to Hawaii. Wonderful. Great. That's something that you enjoy. You may look up in 6 months and realize, I love to travel. I'm passionate about travel
Mm,
and I'm passionate about other people experiencing this. I want to be a travel agent, not just because it's a job. I want people to live an experience and I can create that experience for them because what I found is I like traveling simply because I wanted to go to Hawaii. So we don't have to make it as deep and as big and as overwhelming as we do. It starts with, what do I like?
mm. And I love that. As simple as it is, if you can just do what Shelley is asking you to do, we start creating hope
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
planting that seed of a hope. And if you just continue doing 5, 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
that hope actually then becomes a dream. And
Yes,
then if you really
yes.
take action, it becomes a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
see, I just
And
love
and
it.
and now you're living outside and beyond your titles, whatever those titles are, whatever they are. If you lose your job tomorrow, will that be crushing? Yes, but your identity won't be connected because you understand passion.
Yes. I love that, Shelley. That is powerful, because if they were to lose their job, if they were to lose even a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and if
Exactly.
you know who you are, you don't lose your identity. And that's where this whole depression and this
Yes.
whole, I need anxiety medication. But if you know who you are, that's like the core,
Yes.
right? Of who you are.
That is core. And again,
Unshakable.
and we're not saying that those things aren't painful, because those things are
Yes.
painful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it won't take time to move past those things, because they do. But when who we are not wrapped up in things, then it's easier for us to resonate and move forward through that pain.
That's the key. Yep.
Because I still know who I am.
Yeah.
I know
So
what I was called to do. I know the things that I love. And I know that none of those things, or none of those titles, are the things that make me the woman.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, wow. So how can our audience find you online?
Absolutely. We can connect on my website, which is my name, www.shelleymeche'tte.com. And that's SHELLEYMECHETTE. We can also connect on Instagram and Facebook at my name. I like to keep it simple. And I also have a Facebook group called Moms with Purpose. You're more than a mom. And so we can connect there. And you can also always get my free guide, which is purposeful, powerful purpose, and redefining who you are after motherhood. And that is at yourpurposeguide.com. So that's a free guide. And you can start there, just again, playing with, what do I like? What do I enjoy?
Absolutely.
And this guide will walk you through that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Shelley. I look forward in working with you again.
Yes.
I really do love the purpose of bringing that out of moms forth into the world, because that is the way we're going to shift this whole new way of mothering, right?
Yes, I love it. I love it. And if I don't leave you with anything else, I want to leave you with the fact that you never have to live an either or life. You are a mother, and you get to define what happens after and.
I love it. Thank you so much, Shelley. We look
Thank you
forward
for
to
having
seeing you
me.
again. And I will post all your links and all your information so the audience can go ahead and connect with you. I really appreciate your presence, and I'm honored with your expertise and really, being a cheerleader, motivator for yourself and for moms. It's a
Thank you
blessing to
so
have
much.
you.
I look forward to connecting with you again.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Neutralize the Mama Trauma podcast. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any new episodes. It would also mean the world to me if you're able to take a moment and rate and review my podcast on how it was helpful to you. Also, please connect with me on my social media platforms. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next episode.